Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Stephanie Stevens Show. Tonight, I am talking about the Silicone Diaries. I am also writing a new show now about silicone. So, I just want to talk to you and take you through my journey on my way to Miss Continental. Now, the reason I am talking about silicone and on my show tonight is because I have decided that I wanted to enter Miss Continental. Now, the reason I am talking about silicone is because the majority of the women in Miss Continental are trans women, and they have had some augmentation of some kind or another, whether it's silicone injections, silicone implants, chin implants, cheek implants, butt implants, or just silicone augmentation somehow. Now, as you guys know, I have been around trans women all my life. Now, a lot of you have asked me about my breast. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't have implants. I have never had any silicone injections of any kind. I just have a trick of the way I dress that enhances the breast line. I'll say that. Now, tonight on Silicone Diaries, I just want to talk about how I first heard about silicone. I first heard about silicone when I was in Florida, and a lot of the girls that I used to work with, after I started doing shows, because right before I came to Canada, I had really just started doing shows, but I used to support a lot of the shows with the girls. So I used to be in the dress room a lot, and I used to carry bags, because when you're first starting out, you have to, cater to the divas. And that's what I did, so I could learn and I could watch and I could see. And there was a few that I hung around. I hung around Belle Kincaid, which was almost like my mother, but not really. But I hung around her a lot, and she was a trans woman. Now, she didn't have silicone injections, but in her face. But she had just regular hormone breasts from taking pills. Now, I never wanted to transition all the way. I thought this was just a thing that they did for the pageants, which they did. They did a lot of this for the pageants and to look more convincing. And this was a cheaper way than going to a doctor and having them do it. I always used to ask the girls, why don't you go to a doctor so you can get breast implants or enhancement? But for some reason, silicone injection, they used to call them in Florida the kitchen doctors. Now, these women who used to come, some of these were real nurses that actually used to inject the silicone, but a lot of them, once the queens started seeing how the nurses did the silicone, they started doing the silicone themselves and then trying to inject the other girls. So wasn't just an overnight thing of queens. They learned the silicone injections from real nurses before they started injecting each other. Now, from what I saw for myself, in Florida, it was huge. The silicone injections was a huge thing. I went to so many hip injections and breast injections, and I always thought, well, is this safe? I used to ask Belle that all the time. Was it safe? And she used to say, yeah, girl, everybody gets it, this and this and this. And back then, some of the girls did die, but nobody ever linked it to silicone or the illegal silicone doctors. Like a lot of us would go to the hotels, or we'd just go to somebody's apartment and they'd pull out this stuff in the kitchen and lay you down on the couch and inject you, or lay you down on the bed, or a fake makeshift like doctor thing and inject you. Now, what I wanted to know is the reason I am talking about silicone is because I wanted at one point to do silicone. But now I've been seeing, I'm so glad that there's so much education on YouTube. I'm so glad that so many girls are now coming forth and talking about their silicone journey. I'm calling it the Silicone Diaries. And I'm just very glad that the girls are speaking out to save the other women's lives, or the people who just want silicone because they want an enhancement of some kind to look better or feel better, or just feel good about themselves. Don't get injections for competitions. This is something I really must stress, because trust me, it took everything in me not to do it. It did. It took everything in me not to get silicone. So I'm lucky and glad that I saw a lot of the tutorials on YouTube, which was very helpful. So I want to say thank you to a lot of the girls in Atlanta, because you actually came out and talked about it. Now, I'm going to be honest. When I watch a lot of the pageant videos, I can always tell the girls that had the silicone injection, because the silicone just doesn't look right underneath the skin. And you can see that, and the camera doesn't lie. So when you're watching the videos, you see all these lumps and bumps, and I'm thinking, oh my God. And I'm gonna be honest, I am really glad I didn't do that. And you can also see the expressions on the girls' faces, because they now know when you wear a swimsuit, the judges can see that silicone. They can see the botched jobs. And, it's a good thing that they have this new show on television called Botch, because now these doctors are trying to help the girls. But I did watch one episode where the doctor told the one girls that they could not take the silicone from her breast, and they couldn't take it from her legs, because in the long run it shuts off. It was too deep within the skin. It was like a brick. And these doctors on Botch were very compassionate and wanted to help make the girls' lives better and all this stuff. But the girls, it was too late. So I'm telling you, women out there now, and all of you queens that are thinking about silicone injections, don't do that. Go to a doctor to get your enhancements of whatever it is, but do not go to these women or men in these kitchens or these apartments and get no silicone injections. I know you're saying, oh, well, she looks good and she looks good. Almost every queen that talks to me now, I'm going to do the Stephanie Stevens show, where I'm going to sit around the table and talk to a bunch of trans women that have actually had silicone injections of some kind when I get to the States. I'm going to be there on tour, so I'm going to do a couple of shows on the Stephanie Stevens show where we're going to sit around, we're going to talk about these issues. Now, I want you girls to understand that if you need a tune-up, you need fillers, there's things now that doctors can put in your face and in your body to help you, enhance you, that won't harm you, like silicone. Okay, so the reason I was on tonight is because I just want to tell you that I was thinking about silicone because I wanted to be in Miss Continental or some of the other pageants that I see a lot of the girls are enhanced, and it looks good in the clothes. But when you look at it on the stage from a distance, mainly when you're half naked, you can see all the botched jobs, all the lumps and the bumps. And I don't want to look like that. I don't. If I'm going to have silicone or anything put in me, you need to see a doctor, including me. I need to see a doctor to make sure that everything is laying right and I'm healthy enough to put this stuff in my body. So, ladies, be careful. This is the Silicone Diaries from Stephanie Stevens. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on my show tonight. I hope I have taught you a little something or just a little advice. Do not get silicone injections from people in their kitchens and no matter where they are. You go see a doctor if you want enhancement, ladies. Okay? Now, I also want to say thank you to those doctors on Botch. You guys didn't treat the queens any way but respectful. And I want to say the one queen that you helped in Miami fix her face and everything, that was amazing. Did an amazing job. Now, but you couldn't do anything about the breast and the hips. But you did fix her face, and you guys did a great job. So if you girls need to try to figure out, go see a doctor and talk to them about removing that silicone, because in your hips and stuff, because I've seen a lot of really bad silicone lately and on these stages and stuff. And it's quite shocking that I know how vain pageant queens can be. So I know that silicone that you put in your body is damaging you, because I can see it in your face. I can see it in your skin. Of course, you look good on a big stage from a distance, but when you get up close, girl, is quite frightening. Don't do that. You don't need that. I thought at one time I needed that to be Miss Continental. You don't. But I'm not knocking the girls for making the mistakes they made or making the choices that they made. I'm just saying that I am not going to make that mistake. So don't put any silicone in your body unless you talk to a doctor about any of your enhancement. They have amazing fillers now that can do just as good as silicone. Okay? So over and out, everybody. I'm Stephanie Stevens. Thank you for joining me on the Stephanie Stevens Show for the Silicone Diaries. I hope you guys have learned something from me. Just from just saying, I'm not an expert on silicone by no means. But I'm saying, if you want any enhancements to your beautiful body, see a doctor first to make you feel and look like the woman or man that you want to be. But don't go to these kitchen doctors and just because you're on a budget and you think the other girls look good. Lately, a lot of girls have died. And one woman in particular, I'm not going to say who she is, I looked up to her. She came up to Canada and helped me start a big pageant system. She helped me a lot. A couple of them. I will just tell you who they are. Tanisha Cassadine, Erica Andrews, they all came up here to help me get things going. They never encouraged me anything about silicone or none of that. But they're both gone now, and I miss them. And all because, the price of beauty should not cost you your life. So think about that before you guys run over there to those kitchen doctors. I know it seems tempting because the pageants are coming up and you need to be fabulous, but you can be fabulous in a doctor's office. If you can come up with money for those silicone shots, you can come up with money for those fillers, okay, from the doctor. And that way, and he'll make sure that they do a referral first, and to make sure this is what you want, and then they will do follow-ups to make sure you look good and you're healthy and your body is responding well to your treatments. So go see a doctor, ladies, if you want fillers or enhancements of any kind. No silicone from these kitchen doctors. Stay out of them kitchens. Okay, y'all? I'm Stephanie Stevens. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on the Stephanie Stevens Show. And that's my advice for you guys right here on the Silicone Diaries. Thank you guys. Over and out. Have a blessed week, ladies. It's pageant week. It's pageant week. Miss Gay America is coming up. Miss Continental is coming up. All these amazing pageants are coming up very soon. And I'll be watching. So, thank you guys so much for listening to me. Over and out, everybody. Have a blessed week. I'm Stephanie Stevens, and this was the Silicone Diaries from a Queen's point of view. Good night, ladies.